What's up, Emo Geeks? Welcome back to another episode of Feedback Friday. This week with Kelly Lamano, content master of really good emails, writer of newsletters. How's it going, Kelly?
Hey Matt, it's going pretty great. That was quite the intro. Thank you.
Do
How's it going?
you have a better title for yourself?
No, I mean that kind of just set the bar right there.
This episode is sponsored by Influence. From subject lines to pre-header text, call to action button placement, email content, header images, and more, you can test up to 5 versions of an email with the Influence marketing platform. Get a demo at the link below. Well, these are some Disney Plus emails. These are Matthew's picks, but I thought we could walk through them and kind of talk about what we like.
Sounds good.
All right, so this first one, it looks sort of like an onboarding email trying to get you to try this group watch feature, and I really like this layout. It's pretty unique from what we usually see. They're using live text here, which is really awesome to see.
Yeah, I really like that they use a mix of live text and images. They could have just placed like blocks of images for everything, but it's kind of unique too how they have the CTA right at the top of the email. So it's kind of like, hey, try group watch. If you're not ready to try it, you can scroll down and see how it works. And then they have that consistent CTA at the bottom with start group watch. So it's like the same button at the top and the bottom, keeping it very consistent, but also walking you through the steps of how to use it.
Kind of looks like this is almost like a mobile first email in general, keeping everything pretty optimized for mobile, not having too long of a text, leading people into that CTA. And I think that they use a nice balance of colors to sort of break up the sections as well. So overall, a fan of this one. Moving on to the next one, another Mandalorian group watch email.
The Mandalorian was actually the reason why I tried Disney Plus. It was my intro to Star Wars. Never watched the series till then, but I think it's really cool that they highlight that throughout the entire email. So it's kind of like they're pushing Disney Plus as a product, but they're also pushing The Mandalorian as a show. So it's kind of like double advertisement. And it's kind of cool how they draw you into the email, like even at the top saying like, this is the way, like the motto of the Mandalorian. So I think it's cool how they show you can watch the show together. I'm kind of curious to know the reasoning behind the side-by-side CTAs. That's kind of unique. So like the start streaming and the group watch. I'd definitely be interested to know if they have like kind of what the results were behind that. Like, did they have more people click start streaming or did they have more for the group watch? Definitely interested in kind of the science behind that.
I think we usually see these, what we call ghost buttons, that's just an outline, perform a little less when they're the main CTA, but as a secondary CTA, it sort of works well if you really wanted to have these next together. So I think the start streaming being that very clear CTA blue color stands out, and then the secondary group watch maybe matches the UI of the product or something, and it's more like a secondary CTA. But I'm a fan of the gradient on the CTA. I'm sure this might just be an image. It'd be kind of hard to do with actually CSS, but I think this is a good solution to this problem of maybe showing them next to each other and versus stacking them that might look a little awkward. So I like this GIF. I think it is just the right amount of time. It's a little bit flashy, but it kind of draws your eye in. It's very optimized for this mobile view again, putting you towards, again, that double CTA with the main CTA watching the trailer and that secondary, adding it to a watch list. So cool to see here. I guess maybe they had a play button here that might make you want to watch this trailer a little bit clearer if that's the main CTA they wanted to use.
I am curious about the follow us buttons. So I noticed that on a lot of their emails towards the footer, they just have follow us and then the 3 buttons there. Kind of what you and Matthew have said before. I'd like to see more. Why should we follow them? So, like, continuing the conversation or interacting with other viewers, like, why should we follow them? I kind of would want to see that maybe in the future.
These are sort of pared down. There's not like 100 icons, and they're pretty big, so they're pretty clickable on mobile. And then on desktop, it might be fun just to add some hover effects on these or some of these CTAs. Just an opacity hover effect. That might be a cool little touch for those desktop users. Moving on to this next one, it's kind of more like an upsell email of sorts. They want you to buy into this package, upgrading your subscription.
I really like how they open the email with a bunch of different titles, so kind of showcasing that in a visual way. And that kind of covers a wide variety of audiences. So if you like sports, you might want to watch the Dwayne Wade documentary. If you like comedy or Disney films, you might want to watch Toy Story 4 or The Simpsons. So I think it's cool how they kind of open that up so they reach a broad audience. And I like, again, how they use a lot of live text here and kind of just highlighting the logos of the companies that are partnering together and then using that consistent CTA again. Seems like a lot of the time they have that blue button and they keep it very consistent. So it's kind of like teaching the reader what to look for.
I also kind of like the very descriptive CTA copy and not repeating it here as well. I think that it's kind of smart rather than like a buy now. I think this bundle and save 25% and upgrade your subscription are really powerful CTAs. They are so close together that making them, even if they're leading to the same page, updating the copy and sort of targeting towards that section really supports that message. And this next one, very good use of GIF, some WandaVision.
Yeah, that one's a really cool GIF. I like how everything is kind of moving in that picture. It definitely catches your eye. And again, I think that Disney really touches on how they can reach such a wide range of people. So just showing all of the different movies, all the different TV shows, all the different ages that they reach, it's good to highlight different options. And I think maybe even in the future, if they don't already do this, it'd be cool to see some sort of personalization. So instead of just seeing a bunch of different titles, maybe personalizing it to like what's already on your watch list. And then maybe a follow up to that would be kind of cool to see.
I mean, I think they really have to compete with some of these other streaming services like Netflix and Hulu, and they seem to do a lot of personalization when it comes to their emails, HBO Max as well. But I think they've sort of stood out to me on kind of bringing a more simplistic, very friendly communication about really focusing on these titles, having these nice, actionable sort of watch list CTAs. And I think they're really trying to cater to a pretty wide audience with their product and maybe even like a younger audience. I think hopefully they can maybe learn a little bit about your streaming preferences and try to personalize this when they can. But they do have a lot of content to serve you, and how they do that in these emails is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
this last one, it just really stood out to me. I really liked all the colors working together, leading down into this section with this GIF CTA. This one just really caught my eye in the inbox, and I think it stands out, and we don't really get to see a GIF CTA very often that's not totally crazy or annoying either. So
Yeah. I loved that gift CTA. That definitely drew me in. I don't see a lot of that. And so it's really cool to kind of see that moving. And I feel like that kind of even pushes the audience to click even more because it's like, oh, this is nice. And it's really cool how everything is centered. I think it works really well here because they don't have a ton of text on each line. They keep it kind of simple. And so I think it really works just drawing your eyes all the way down.
cool. Well, nice work, Disney Plus. Definitely a brand to follow. I'm going to have to watch some of these. Thanks for coming on, Kelly. Have a happy Friday.
Thanks, Matt. Happy Friday.
See ya.